Postseason baseball at 94-year-old Jack Coombs Field for the first time. Tickets, obviously, have been hard to come by. The gritty blue is going to get the call today. This is a staff that has a lot of left-handed arms.
Yeah, fastball is going to be 89-92. High miss rate for a fastball at almost 30%. So he gets down the hill. He's got full arm extension, almost 7 feet.
Omaha. Here's Jonathan Hogarth standing in, and we're underway, and he swings at the first pitch. And now Dustin Mercer at the plate, one of the hottest players in the country the last couple of weeks. What a regional in Oxford, 10 for 18 with 6 runs batted in. He was the most outstanding player. That pitch missed in. .351, no homers, 38 runs batted in. He was also the MVP of the Missouri Valley Conference tournament. Went 9 for 18 there with 7 runs batted in. First all-time meeting between Murray State and Duke. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the 2-hole hitter Mercer. And the pitch from Brooks, swung on and missed, struck him out. Great start for Owen Brooks.
Brooks has really taken over this ace of the rotation over the last 6 weeks. Nasty slider, down, out. That funky lefty delivery, man, comes right up on you. Nasty breaking ball.
And now the right-handed hitting Carson Garner. Second team All-Missouri Valley. Veteran from Franklin, Tennessee. He's at third base for the Racers. And he has been at Murray State his entire career. Trying to get something going here in the first inning with 2 outs. Let's pop back out of play, 1-1. Murray State shared the Missouri Valley Conference regular season title with Missouri State and then won the league tournament. Just their 3rd year in the Missouri Valley after many seasons.
Which means he gets righties out at a 186 clips. Lefties are hitting almost 280. So it's going to be imperative for these right-handers for MSU, Murray State, to get the job done today.
Down the line, and it is slicing out of play. You can see they've added a lot of extra seats, especially in the outfield. And a lot of people wanted to see this event. First time in the 94 years of this stadium, Jack Coombs Field, that they're hosting postseason baseball. They've done a lot to this ballpark recently. It's going through a multi-phase facelift. Put in new turf, new dugouts here in the last year. You can see they need the seat expansion. Foul back.
Well, Chris Pollard said before the game when I was talking to him that they were really close to hosting in 2018, had a really good run. And he really felt like that the field was what was one of the aspects that kind of kept them from getting a hosting bid.
Time called. I think a ball got loose in behind home plate. This is a long at bat for Garner. Brooks got the first 2 outs quickly. Pitch number 8, swung on and missed. To start last Saturday, so here he is a week later. Biggest game of his life as Wallace Clark stands in, the senior captain for Duke. And the first pitch is outside. Clark from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Second year at Duke after a couple of seasons at Oklahoma. Freshman of the year in the Big 12 at one point. Terrific numbers. And he fouls it back, a ball and a strike. You think of what he did to lead Duke in the regional last week. 9 hits, couple of homers, drove in 3. I mean, there were several candidates for most outstanding, but it went to Wallace Clark. Here's the 1-1 from Shuddy. That's wrap foul, 1-2.
Wallace Clark's just one of those guys, gritty baseball player, long at bat, spoils good pitches until you finally make a mistake. He is on top.
Shuddy's 1-2 to Clark. And now it's outside 2-2. It's a very physical, very mature lineup. With the veteran leading it off. 106 homers for this team, 12th in the country. They had 7 in the regional last weekend. 2-2, and again, splayed foul. Again, the 2-2 from Shuddy. Man, this is a battle. And this is what a good leadoff hitter will do. Makes the pitcher earn that first out.
Yeah, and this is what Duke does. They're very experienced, a veteran team, lead the nation in walks. So they're up there, they got to spoil some good pitches, and then all of a sudden you make a mistake, you come into their zone, and they're going to do some damage with it.
2-2 inside, and now it's a full count.
It gets frustrating as a pitcher, Clay. It really does. You're up there and you're making good pitch after good pitch, and the guy's just fouling it off, flicking into the stands. So then you try to do something different. Shuddy goes to a changeup, misses down.
Swung out and missed, got him. So Shuddy battles Clark for 8 pitches, but he comes away victorious for the first out.
Like I said, you got to change things up. So a bunch of fastballs, bottom of the zone, misses with a changeup. And there's that overhand curveball, about 75 miles an hour. Late break, a lot of depth to it.
And now the left fielder, Ben Rounds. We saw this guy fly around the bases in the regional final. Scored the game-winning run from first. Ivy League transfer from Harvard, one of 3 in this lineup from the Ivy League. Chris Pollard did a great job picking up guys out of the portal. And Rounds is behind in the count here, 0-2. Struck him out on 3 pitches. Well, Nick Shuddy, not known for overpowering stuff, but has a couple of strikeouts to start the game. And now Ben Miller's coming to the plate. This is what happened to him in the regional. Hit on that top hand. That throwing hand. And now we're going to see how he's able to adjust here this weekend.
He looked good to try to absorb some of the shock from making contact.
Right. 2-strike pitch. Breaking ball lifted into center field. And a lazy fly ball for Jonathan Hogart. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Nick Shuddy. Both starters with 1-2-3 firsts. We head to the second in Durham, no score. New field looks terrific. And the fans here eating it up with a spoon this weekend. Super regional baseball in Durham. They didn't think it was going to happen this year. Here we are.
No, they did not. And they were able to get it together well enough. I mean, the ballpark's beautiful.
This is Dom Decker leading it off for Murray State. The everyday second baseman. He'll start it in the second inning for the Racers. Indiana native. He has reached in 38 straight games. His on-base percentage nipping at .500. Tops in the Missouri Valley Conference. 2-1 pitch. And there is the first base hit given up by Owen Pritch. First base runner of the ball game. And there it is, 39 straight games that Decker has reached. And Murray's off and running here in the second inning.
I can honestly say in what, I'll go almost 50 years of baseball. I have never seen a cleanup hitter with no home runs.
How about
But nice flat plane swing on time. Coach Skirka says that, man, he is always on the barrel. And there you go, great example of it, right up, straight back up the box. Great piece of hitting.
And here's the 5-hole hitter, Luke McStoney. He doesn't have a bunch of homers either, just 3 on the campaign. Transfer from Cal State Fullerton. Second team All-Missouri Valley. 344, 50 runs batted in. Swung out and missed. Nothing in 2. You know, with Decker over at first base, obviously a situation where you might expect he would take off, but neither of these teams run a bunch.
No, Decker's got 9 stolen bases, so he is a threat, but it's just not Murray State's game. It's not Duke's game, at least right now.
It's fouled off. Luke McStoney went 9 for 19 with a home run and a team-high 9 runs batted in Oxford. 5 in the Georgia Tech game alone. But he was left off the all-regional team, so go figure. And they're going to throw over to first. I mean, you do something like that, it should be a given.
You would think.
They should drive in a limo to the supers.
Oh, it was a little bit of a panic for Luke this morning. He thought he left his jersey back in Kentucky.
Line drive, base hit. Back-to-back singles for Murray State. 2 on and nobody out for the Racers. Well, we told you they can hit.
Breaking ball down and in, just stays with it. Another flat plane swing, not trying to do damage, just trying to take the ball right back up the middle. That allows you to stay on time, and if you're able to hit the fastball opposite field, you're going to be right on time for that slider. And Brooks is basically a fastball slider guy, very occasional changeup.
First pitch swinging is Will Vierling, the catcher. And he's quickly behind in the count. Vierling, left-handed hitter catcher, first team All-Missouri Valley. Former Louisville Cardinal. That's up and in. Look out.
He didn't even move. He didn't even flinch. I mean, that's disturbing for me as a pitcher. If I go with a fastball right up here and he barely moves, I'm like, all right, he's locked in.
He has been a big lift to this Murray State roster. This could be 2. Well, it's going to be a tag at second as the shift was on, and that kept Murray State out of the double play.
And the downside of the shift, you got nobody to take this toss. Routine, it would have been a routine 4-6-3. Instead, ground ball takes Clark a little bit towards the second base side, and the only thing that he can do, get up there and make the tag. Nice play. But a part of the shift that is against the analytics, I don't like that.
So runners at the corners and 1 out for Dan Tocken, the big veteran left fielder. New York native. Has a team best 72 runs batted in, and he's batting in the 7-hole. Popped up, and it's going to spin out of play.
So you're saying it's not a really conventional lineup?
It's got some length to it, I'll tell you that
does.
much. And look at what it was doing in the regional. 362 as a team. 59 hits in the 4 games. 24 went for extra bases. And we scored 42 runs. Tocken had a couple of homers and drove in 5 runs against Georgia Tech in the regional. And he's going to take that one high.
I mean, both these offenses just make these pitchers work. Good takes. They make you get them out inside the strike zone. And as good as they are hitting, that's hard to do.
Swung on by Tocken, again popped up. And Kyle Johnson, very athletic center fielder, catches it charging in. His throw home is going to be cut off. And the lead run is scored by Dom Decker. Murray State jumps out in front here in the second inning.
Once you get to 2 strikes, man, everything's off the table. You want to get something into the outfield grass. And Talkin does just that, gets that ball deep enough into center field. And Murray State on the board first, and they are 19-3 when scoring first.
Here's the designated hitter, Nico Bermeo. Designated hitting has been a bit of a revolving door for the Racers this year. They wanted Bermeo's right-handed bat in the lineup today against Prooks. We'll probably see right-handed DH the rest of the Supers. So many lefties in this Duke pitching staff. Bermeo transfer from Division III Aurora University. Just his 11th start. 1-0 Murray State. Boy, the community has really been responsive, and Dan Skirka, the head coach of the Racers, just overwhelmed by the support from the Racers fan base, from the alumni. Swung on and missed. 1-2, and they have to be thrilled with this start.
Oh man, this is exactly what they wanted. Overcome the atmosphere. I mean, Ole Miss is about as tough a place to play as there is. And to go in there and do what they did, they were not afraid of the moment.
Popped up. 6'4", 205-pound first baseman. Veteran presence. It's been a solid first year at Duke. Grad transfer from Georgetown. Nick Shuddy's pitch fouled off. Shuddy had a 1-2-3 first inning with a couple of strikeouts.
Yeah, showed real well. I mean, it's for me, it's an Auburn guy. It's a Tim Hudson comp for me. Low, gets down the hill, low drop and drive. Really works that 2-seamer. He'll mix in some 4-seam up, but it's really a nice look. I mean, he'll be 92 most of the game. You wouldn't know if he's at 60 pitches, 3 pitches, or 120. It's just the way he's built and his work ethic.
1-2.
Clay, you feel like we're going to see a lot of long at-bats today?
Well, the way these offensive approaches have looked here the first inning and a half, I would have to agree with that. Again, a 1-2 pitch inside. Counters even to Jake Hyde. Got out to a slow start this year for Duke. First month of the season was hitting under 200, but now close to 300. And another one that's going to get foul and out of play.
Such a slow start that they took him out of the lineup for a weekend, tried to reset everything, and he got back, and it's like my partner Clay said, he has gotten hot, and there's a good look. 314, 7 home runs. Last 25 games.
Lifted, could be playable for Dan Talkin in the corner. He's going to reach up and make the catch. First 4 retired by Nick Shuddy. Well, the NCAA Super Regional coverage continues this weekend across ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, and ESPN+. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Nice day here in Durham, a little humid, alongside Greg Olson on Clay Matvick. As Nick Shuddy has set down the first 4 Blue Devils he has faced as Tyler Albright comes to the plate for the first time in the series. That hit him. Well, Duke doesn't need to be taking any more body blows, I should say. We saw what happened to Ben Miller in the regional, but they do appreciate their first base runner, and it's Tyler Albright.
Breaking ball just gets away. Albright gives a little bit, does enough so that the umpire doesn't think that he leaned into it. He pitched at 77 miles an hour. It's not real hard for these guys to get out of the way.
And this is a challenge now for Shuddy, pitching from the stretch for the first time, and the team's stolen base leader is at first base in Tyler Albright. He has 14 stolen bags on the year. As Sam Harris, sophomore DH, comes up. Only had 4 at-bats all of last season, but he's been a critical component of this year's Duke team. Swung on and missed. Ball and a strike.
Yeah, he really struggled with the off-speed pitches last year. There was a lot of swing and miss in his game. Went to the Northwoods League, bought into a different approach hitting. He's really taken out that that factor of the swing and miss and gotten a lot better approach at the plate.
Sam Harris might have the most power of anyone Chris Pollard has had. That includes guys like Griffin Conine and Matt Mervis, both have made the big leagues. Pollard will tell you he's just got light tower power.
His power comes out best when he's working to left center.
Wind is starting to gust a little bit and blowing out. Runner goes. Swung on and missed. Here is the throw down, and it's way late. Great jump. 2-2 to Harris. Fouled off. We told you that Duke, doesn't run a ton. They had not attempted a stolen base in their last 9 games, but they saw an opportunity there for Albright. We talked about his ability to steal bags. That was his 15th, and now he represents the tying run.
That's such an underrated aspect of the game, the focus level that it takes from the pitcher on a good base runner.
2-2. And hit him. Breaking ball gets away from Shuddy. And now 2 on, 1 out. And the catcher Macon Winslow making his way to the dish.
This is what Coach Skirka said when I was asking, we were talking about Shuddy before the game. I was like, what are you expecting? What are you looking for? And he goes, you know what? He's going to have a really good game if he's able to stay away from the self-inflicted base runners. 2 back-to-back hit by pitches, exactly what Skirka said. He finds a way to self-inflict some damage on himself. And now it's a matter of navigating some of the traffic.
He's hoping for a ground ball now, as Macon Winslow is up, the sophomore catcher. Coming off a great weekend. Winslow is on that Athens All-Regional team. He's been their everyday catcher all season. Murray took the lead in the top of the inning. Back-to-back hits. A couple batters later, Dan Tocken with an RBI sac fly. 2 strikes on Winslow. Winslow, a local product from about an hour and 45 minutes away in Hertford, North Carolina. And they have come from all over the surrounding area to watch Duke baseball this weekend. Albright and Harris on, and another foul. Again, Duke has made Nick Shuddy earn everything so far, even though it was a 1-2-3 first inning. They saw a lot of pitches, and now they are making him earn it here. 2 on, 1 out.
I did like the 0-2 fastball, staying in attack mode, not trying to waste a pitch.
That's outside. This will be the 20th pitch of the inning for Shuddy. And the 1-2, he's Greg Olson on Clay Matvick. We move to the third inning. Murray State leading 1-0 as Connor Cunningham, freshman shortstop, leads it off. Missouri Valley Conference co-freshman of the year. 254, 6 homers, and 36 runs batted in. Good breaking ball there from Prooks. Owen Prooks gave up a run last inning after a couple of hits right away to start the second. For the most part, limited the damage. Now this one is hit well to right. Coming over to the line is Albright. He'll make the catch.
Prooks was in the closing role for this Duke team, and they just really did not feel like he was getting enough work. They were leaving town, and he'd thrown one inning. He was not factoring any of the games. And so Chris Pollard really felt like, and they made the decision to move him into the rotation. He's one of their best arms, and he has flourished, and this Duke team has flourished once this guy got the Friday night starts for Duke.
Jonathan Hogard now for Murray. Hogard grounded out to Ben Miller at third on the first pitch. And Hogard known to jump on the first pitch. In fact, he had a leadoff home run game 1 of the regional last weekend. He has 6 leadoff homers. He's tied for most in the country. Loves to hit that first pitch, too.
But you think about it, though. Every game, the guy starts out with a strike. You know, here's the first pitch fastball. It's kind of like a token. I'm going to take it, and you're going to get ahead, and we'll start the game. Not with Hogard, no. He's going to ambush first thing that he sees.
Second year in Murray State for Hogard. Transfer from Louisiana Tech. That's down and in, 2-2.
I never really liked guys like that. They would ambush your first pitch, because then all of a sudden, okay, I got to do something different. I can't just go with a fastball and try to get ahead. He's not going to let me. So now I got to throw a breaking ball. I got to throw a changeup. I got to do something that's not necessarily in my game.
Hogard hit .400 in Oxford, 3 homers and 6 runs batted in. And his OPS is over 1,100 coming into the weekend. He pitches inside, so now full count. Duke has several capable arms that are well rested in the bullpen, many left-handed, as we talked about. Soft liner to left field, and it's sinking, and it's going to get down for a hit. Not the hardest hit ball that Hogard's ever had, but as Dustin Mercer comes up, he was a strikeout victim of Prooks' in the first inning. Went down swinging. Mercer in his 4th year at Murray State, the transfer from Virginia Tech. He's been in the 2-hole for 3 straight years. Swings through that one. And it's not like Mercer hasn't had home runs in the past. He doesn't have any this year. But he's changed his approach at the plate, concentrating on hitting line drives, hitting for average, getting on base. And it's served him well. Yeah, I'm sure he would like to have a few home runs, but he figures, you know, I'll run into one at some point.
You would think that he would run into one. Like you said, 10 home runs last year. Completely changed his swing in the offseason or in the summer. Flattened it out. Well, that's resulted in a .351 batting average. So whatever he did is working.
Yeah, can't argue with the results.
No, I like the 7 doubles, too, in Oxford. That's enough damage.
Yeah.
He was funny yesterday. They were running little bunt defense drills, and he was one of the 5 guys in line to do one of the bunts. Got some good bunts down, too.
Sure did. This is Jake Berger leading off for Duke here in the 3rd inning, trailing 2-0 now. 8, 9, and 1 due up. Berger, Kyle Johnson, and then back to the top of the order in Wallace Clark. Duke has no hits yet. And a couple of guys on in the 2nd inning against Shuddy. He hit Albright and Harris back-to-back, but Duke wasn't able to bring them home. As the second ended on a 5 unassisted 3 double play. You don't see that very often.
No, but that was as tailor-made as it gets.
Swung on and missed by Berger. And now it's full count. Jake Berger, another grad transfer, was the team captain at Harvard last year. He has started every game at second base for Duke. Infield played to the right, and the pitch is high and outside. Walked it. So like you said, Greg, the biggest thing for Nick Schutte is don't hurt himself. And, well, we've seen him do that a few times here so far in the first 2 innings.
Yeah, and you know, I'm a pitch sequence guy. So, okay, 3-1. It's time to challenge him. Leadoff guy, 8-hole. Throws a fastball, swing and miss. And then I don't understand going to a breaking ball right there that he has not thrown for a strike yet today.
First walk for Duke this weekend. That's their 393rd of the season, which leads the country. So Berger is on for Kyle Johnson. Tremendous athlete out of Leesburg, Virginia. He's in center field today, the two-way star. Has been the Saturday starter most of the season, getting the start in center because of the suspension to A.J. Gracia, who will be back tomorrow for Duke. Just a 1-game suspension.
Well, if you're thinking it might be a good spot to bunt, that's neither one of these teams' game. 14 sack bunts for Duke, 7 for Murray State.
Johnson was Duke's first two-way freshman All-American last year. First since Marcus Stroman 15 years ago.
Not bad company.
No. Big leaguer. It's outside. So now here's Schutte dealing with command issues. He's hit a couple. He walked Berger to start the inning. 3-1 count to Kyle Johnson, the 9-hole hitter, with Wallace Clark in the on-deck circle. Oh, this is hammered to center. Hogard going back. He's looking up. He'll watch it go. Goodbye home run. 2-run shot for Kyle Johnson. And Duke has tied it up at 2. Fourth home run of the year for Johnson.
Johnson in the lineup just because Gracia is out. What a plug-and-play athlete you got. And I mean,
admiration. And so now Duke has some momentum as Wallace Clark pops it up on the infield. The shortstop calling everybody off. The ball drifted on him. And Cunningham puts it away. So there's the helmet now, the construction helmet that Duke wears after home runs. You know, they have this blue collar sentiment going around this program, and that's a nod to Chris Pollard's dad, who used to get up at 4:45 for work every morning, and he did that for 33 years. He said, if I ever lead a baseball program, I'm going to be a blue collar head coach. I want blue collar players. So that's kind of the mantra, and it really works for this Duke bunch.
Well, I mean, you got all these old guys, grad transfers, guys that have been around college baseball for a long time, and they understand the game is hard, and you got to work at it hours.
Ben Rounds wraps it to second for their second out. We're going to talk to Chris Pollard coming up just a little bit. 7th NCAA tournament appearance since taking over as head coach at Duke. Prior to Pollard's revival of this program, they had a 55-year stretch without an NCAA tournament appearance. What a job he has done.
I mean, these guys are almost getting to be regulars in the postseason. Last 8 years has just been rock solid, and it's all due to that man, Chris Pollard.
So the first hit against Nick Schutte is a loud one. 2-run homer by Kyle Johnson here in the 3rd inning to tie the game. Shift is on against Ben Miller here as they load up the left side. Miller flew out to center his first time up. Again, still dealing with that hand injury that kept him out of the regional final.
I got to believe he's still got some echoes in his head on a fastball. Once it gets run in, it's going to bring back a little flashback.
Is that something as a pitcher you would use to your advantage?
Yes, it would be. I'm not going in there with the intention of trying to hit him, but I am trying to move his feet and make him uncomfortable. He's a great player. And you can see Schutte is just working away on everything.
And Ben Miller might have the best mustache in college baseball right now. The mustachioed hometown hero, Ben Miller. Obviously his hand doesn't hurt too much to put on the mustache wax before the game. As that one's fouled back, and now the count is full.
You can see every swing his hand is coming off. His right hand is coming off the bat. I'm sure it's trying to limit damage, but it's not helping his swing. The mustache is probably the best one in college baseball. You can still do that left-handed, Clay.
With one hand?
You're just twisting.
3-2, lined, but right at the...
He's got right now. We need him to go out and give us a shutdown inning.
Real quick, Coach, speak to this atmosphere here in Durham, which they've been waiting a long time for.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's awesome. Our players, these guys deserve it. The program deserves it, and really exciting to see this in Durham.
All right, Coach, appreciate your time.
You bet.
Thanks
Coach.
Guys.
There's Chris Pollard, head coach of the Duke Blue Devils, winningest coach in Duke history, and hosting a super regional after winning regional last weekend as a 2 seed. Swung out and missed, and Will Vierling having trouble with the off speed of Prooks as well.
That's what you're going to get. I mean, it's a lot of sliders. It's a tough matchup for a left-handed hitter.
Now liner, and that's over the glove of Clark into left center field. Hit number 4.
Man, this is just a nice piece of hitting. 2 strikes. He is able to stay on the fastball on time. It's a fastball at the belt. I really was waiting for another Prooks slider down in the dirt and another wipeout. Really surprised at Vierling, and just a great piece of hitting.
So a man on for Dan Tocken. Tocken, the RBI sac fly to center. That scored Dom Decker to get the scoring started for Murray. Breaking ball. Looped into left. This is going to be a tough play, and the left fielder Rounds avoids a collision with Ben Miller and makes the catch for the out.
I don't think the intention from Prooks was to get this slider up and in, but it worked out perfectly. Long run for Rounds. He has priority over the shortstop, Wallace Clark. Nice job of communication.
So Tocken is retired for the first out. And that brings up Nico Bermeo again. Bermeo is 0 for 1, flew out to right. You know, you wouldn't know that Murray State at times this year has struggled against lefties the way they have swung it here today. And 262 is not an awful average as a team against left-handed pitching, but when you compare it to what they were doing coming into the Super Regionals against right-handers, it's quite a contrast. 323 against righties, 262 against left-handers. Swung out and missed. And Bermeo is a quick out. As Prooks now, after giving up the leadoff single to Vierling, it's Tocken and Bermeo easily.
This is a slider that Coach Pollard said you need to get down a little bit lower. That's absolutely perfect. Gets a big second out, but what you were talking about, you know, that goes to how good these left-handed guys are against right-handed hitting. And then just the tough lefty-lefty matchup that Brooks brings to this equation. I mean, I'm thoroughly impressed. This offense is right on time and putting together good at bats, right or left-handed.
2-0 to Cunningham, the 9-hole hitter. Lined out to right his first time up. Not your prototypical freshman, Connor Cunningham. High baseball IQ. His dad, Justin, is a Division III head coach at Lyon College in Arkansas. And you know, coaches' kids tend to just grasp the game differently.
Yes, they do. They grow up around it. Well, you're seeing it with little Skirka. You know, you're on the baseball field all the time. You're around baseball players all the time. You pick up the nuances, and Cunningham is one of those guys.
And looks at a strike there. Full count again.
It just grew up around the game. You just understand it. Your dad, you know, you go home and you play Little League, and you and your dad sit at the dinner table, and that's all you're talking about. And I ought to know. My dad was a high school coach.
Full count, wrap foul.
But Coach Pollard said that both Cunningham and Decker, or the middle infield guys, were both dads or high school coaches, and he's like, it's just fun to watch those guys interact.
Inside, hit him. Hits the 9-hole hitter Cunningham. After working a 3-2 count to him, fifth full count that he's had here today. And so Brooks will now face the top of the order again, and Jonathan Hogart with 2 on.
That would be 18 pitches, 18 hitters that have been hit by Brooks.
Brooks had that easy 1-2-3 first inning, but the innings since have been more of a challenge for sure. So 2 on, 2 outs, and here's Hogart. A single in 2 trips. And came around to score on the RBI single by Dom Decker. Game tied at 2 here in the 4th inning, and time is called. As Brady Kirkpatrick, the pitching coach for the Blue Devils, is going to make a trip out to the mound. 83 pitches in 3 2/3. Pitching coach trying to go out there and reset Brooks. What was the message?
I'm sure it was just a little bit of a mechanical thing that Brooks has got going on. You know, things have gotten a little bit erratic.
Gets a ground ball, and it is going to be foul. That is called foul by the home plate umpire, Brian Miller. Murray State running the bases, but home plate umpire Brian Miller. 1-1. And now 1-2. At first glance, I thought that Brooks was trying to make sure that that stayed foul once it went into foul ground. But I think you're right. I think he was trying to keep that in fair territory and get the out, but that was going to be a tough play.
Yeah, no, I was watching it, and as a former pitcher, I'm thinking the same thing. Man, that's an easy out if you can get there.
And now another one fouled. Just so, outside of third. Activity in that Duke bullpen. Mark Hindy, one of the many left-handers, already appears to be ready. William and Mary transfer, one of the many transfers as well for Duke. He's played a critical role out of that pen this year.
Duke here, North Carolina.
4, 5, and 6 for Duke in this 2-2 game. Jake Hyde, Tyler Albright, and Sam Harris. Hyde flew out to left. He is 0 for 1. Jake Hyde was 2-time All-Big East at Georgetown. He's a Connecticut native. And has been a really solid presence in this lineup in the middle of the order, and has been terrific at first base. And here's Nick Schutte pitching from behind again. 3 balls and no strikes to the leadoff man in the inning. Ball 4, walked him. Second straight inning that Nick Schutte has walked the leadoff man. And you can see the look on Dan Skirka's face. That kind of says it all. There's his son Keegan with the sunglasses on the hat there. He's 9 years old and he looks concerned too. That's little Skirk.
He's been active. They've had a tough time putting a camera on him.
I would be too. My dad's coaching in the biggest game of his life and school's out. And
I want to be in the dugout.
Yeah.
That's it. I want to be in the dugout. Like, I cannot believe you're making me sit in these seats.
Tyler Albright was hit by a pitch. And that one's inside. Checked his swing. Did he go? Yes. First base umpire Greg Harmon said he did go on the appeal. Remember now, last time that Schutte walked the leadoff man was last inning, and then the next guy hit a 2-run homer. That was Kyle Johnson. Albright has 10 homers on the year. Takes a strike here. It's 1-2.
Dealt with a lot of leg injuries last year, lost his job. Went to the Appalachian League, was an all-star, really turned everything around in his summer of baseball.
Tyler Albright, might remember, had a great postseason a couple of years ago. Was on the Conway All-Regional team. Also had a 3-hit game in the Supers at Virginia. Like you said, last year, injury-plagued sophomore campaign. 2-2 to Albright. Ground ball to short. The flip to second. Decker's turn, and not in time. A lot of good fielding teams in the Missouri Valley, but Murray State had the best fielding percentage in the MVC, .978. Nearly turned that double play. Already turned one today. One out, man on for Sam Harris.
And that was something that Coach Skirka really pointed out in our conversation with him yesterday was, all right, hey, if we want to take this next step, our defense is a weakness. And they really worked hard in the fall and early spring on shoring up the defense. And like my partner said, .978 fielding percentage, 27th nationally, best in the MVC.
Nick Schutte was first team All-Missouri Valley. He's won 6 of his last 8 starts. He's been battling himself at times here so far. With walks and hit by pitch. The 0-1 to Harris. Swung out and missed, 0-2. Again, he doesn't overpower hitters.
No, I mean, you look at that one, the 88, it's a little bit of a two-seam horizontal movement, you know, takes it off the barrel of the bat. Trying to see what home plate umpire Brian Miller and Chris Pollard were talking about. But he does enough. I mean, he just a little change of speeds, 89, 90, 87, you know, just moves it around a little bit. Good sink action.
Albright at first, the 0-2. Flailing away there is Harris. And Schutte got him for the second out.
We have not seen that pitch very much. Change up, bottom of the zone. Really gets inside of it, almost like a screwball action. It's been a big pitch for him this year, 43% swing and miss rate.
Nick Schutte, a transfer from Motlow Community College in Tennessee. On a big stage here in Durham today, has 2 outs. As Winslow's at the plate. Winslow grounded into that inning-ending double play in the second. It's up and in to Macon Winslow. Winslow, second cousin to Trot Nixon, who was born right here in Durham. There you go.
I did not know that.
Well, now you do.
Thank you. You're full of useful nuggets. That's why it's just nice to work with you, Clay. You just,
full of nuggets.
Yep, full of nuggets.
2-0.
All right, last two pitches, things have gotten a little loose, and that's, for a two-seam guy, that's kind of the missing spot, is when the front hip or the front shoulder starts leaking open a little bit, you miss up and into righties.
It's outside. 3-0. Nick Schutte walked the leadoff man, Jake Hyde. He was able to get a ground ball force out and struck out Harris, now trying to get out of this fourth inning unscathed in a 2-2 game. And he walked another one. Now that's the third walk allowed by Schutte, plus he has hit 2. With that said, he's battling.
He is battling. I'd like to see somebody come out here and talk to him. He's flying open. It's really obvious to me sitting up here. All the arm side misses, and then the next move is if you try to take a little something off of it, you end up pulling it glove side. So it gets way wide like pitch number 3 was in the left-handed batter's box. Get out of here.
First pitch here to Jake Berger is down and in. So there's the actual bullpen. It's in foul ground down the right field line for Murray State. So the activity we saw, that was stretching activity for a reliever or two. Can't stretch on the field, so they can only take their warm-ups in the bullpen.
And there's no place to sit out in the next to the mound, so it's an unusual setup, having been in a bullpen or two in my life.
It's a 94-year-old stadium. What do you expect?
I mean, I love it though. It's great. It's old school.
It is.
And Schutte is just struggling with it. He has not gotten it fixed yet. Still big misses.
I think that's what gives this place character. 3-0 to Berger, and another big miss, walked him. Bases loaded for Duke with 2 outs. And here comes Kyle Johnson, who did this his last time up.
Got behind in the count to Johnson on a 3-1 fastball. This thing is taken over the TV tower. And don't think that Schutte is not well aware of that situation, is now standing at home plate. And he's going, man, I cannot find the zone. There's nothing I can do. I've missed with a breaking ball. I've missed with change-ups. And I cannot land a fastball. So he's got to find a way to get ahead with something other than a fastball.
That home run for Kyle Johnson, his 4th of the year, but his first in months, going back to February.
I mean, this was a guy who's, you said, two-way player. You know, got a lot of time on the field last year as well as on the mound.
There's a strike finally after 9 straight out of the zone. Nick Schutte trying to bear down that pitch inside. 2-1. Tyler Albright at third. Making Winslow at second base. Jake Berger just walked. He's at first. Base is full of Blue Devils. And a strike on the outside corner. Kyle Johnson shaking his head, doesn't like the call.
Have you ever heard of a makeup call, Clay?
A few times.
Yeah, so I think that slider right before that was a strike. And this is what they do. I mean, that's what they used to do, would be a makeup call and like, okay, I got to fix the damage.
Breaking ball inside, just missed the inside corner. Now Nick Schutte not happy with the call.
Now we're like 3 makeups deep right now. I don't even know where we're at. Yeah.
Here comes the crowd to its feet. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 3-2 to Kyle Johnson, 2-2 game. Hammer, left center, deep, carrying, bounces over the fence, and Duke is going to take the lead. And now time call. And there's a good chance again that we'll see Kyle Johnson tomorrow. He's been their #2 starter for several weeks.
long as he doesn't get his legs too tired from legging out these home runs and doubles.
Wallace Clark now trying to add to the lead. Wallace Clark was on that Oklahoma team that was a national runner-up in 2022. As you look at the Murray State bullpen, Dylan Sentko, left-hander, getting loose. And this one's going to get to the backstop. Glove comes off of Vierling. Play at the plate. Not in time. And out 2-1 to Clark. Way outside. And Shuddy is at the end of his rope.
And it's just as simple as just his front hips flying open, and he doesn't know it. He's not aware of it. He's just sitting out there fighting against this mechanical issue that he's got going on.
And lost him. Fourth walk of the inning for Shuddy. And the inning carries on.
The frustration is that he's going, there's nothing I can throw for a strike.
You see the walks. This is Duke's specialty. You're just playing into the Blue Devils' hands right now. If you're Nick Shuddy, 5 walks today. And the bullpen has Zenko getting close to being ready. This will be pitch number 32 of the inning for Nick Shuddy. And Rounds fouls it off. Ben Rounds 0 for 2, struck out in the first inning and grounded out to second in the third. Nick Shuddy pitched on Monday, pitched twice last weekend. 119 on Saturday, the number of pitches. As this one is lifted to center, it's going to stay in the ballpark for Hogarth. And the inning is finally over, but Nick Shuddy on a short week of rest.